Feeling stuck in your career, it's not just some phase you go through. It's a real problem. But here's the good news. It's a problem that we can absolutely solve. In this explainer, we're going to lay out the blueprint for building career clarity, step by step, to get from that feeling of confusion to a clear, actionable path forward. Does this sound familiar? That feeling like you're just adrift in your professional life, not really sure what the next move should be, or even what you want it to be? Yeah, if that hits home, you are definitely not alone. Let's get to the root of why that happens. So the very first thing we have to get our heads around is this. Finding clarity is not about this one magical moment where you discover your perfect career. That's a myth. This quote is so powerful because it just takes all that pressure off. It's not about a single discovery, it's a process. It's about reducing confusion one little step at a time. All right, so here's our game plan. We've got a 5-step roadmap to get you there. First, we'll break down the career confusion problem itself. Then we'll get into 3 key actions: separating your core ingredients, finding your energy, not just excitement, and of course, taking action. And we'll wrap it all up with a really crucial mindset shift, aiming for alignment, not perfection. So why do so many of us feel so stuck in the first place? Well, the core issue is that we tend to treat our career like this one giant tangled knot. We lump our skills, our passions, what we want out of life, all into one big, confusing mess. So how do you untangle that knot? Step 1, you've got to separate its 3 core strands. And those are your skills, your interests, and your desired lifestyle. We have to start looking at these as 3 completely separate things. Okay, so this means we're going to ask 3 totally different questions. First step, skill. What are you just objectively good at? Forget whether you enjoy it for a second. What are your actual talents? Second, interest. What topics just naturally pull you in? What do you find yourself reading about or watching videos on for fun? And third, lifestyle. What kind of life do you actually want to live? A 9 to 5, something more flexible, corporate or academic? Answering these separately is the absolute foundation for getting clear. Okay, so once you've separated those ingredients, you need a compass to guide you. But here's the thing. Chasing passion or excitement can be really unreliable. A much, much better guide is your personal energy. This right here, this is a huge shift in thinking. Asking, what do I like, is, well, it's kind of fickle. Our likes change all the time. But asking, when do I feel energized? That's a much more powerful question. It points you toward the kind of work that truly fuels you over the long haul, instead of just draining your battery. So how do you find this pattern? Just think about your last week of work. Seriously, when did time just fly by? When did you feel recharged, even if you were physically tired? Was it when you were deep in thought solving a tough problem alone? Or was it when you were brainstorming and collaborating with your team? Identifying these moments is like finding the power source for your career. All right, we've done a lot of the internal work, but let's be real. Clarity doesn't come from just sitting around and thinking about it. It's forged by doing. It's time to move from thinking to action. But wait, before you jump into action, there's one really critical cleanup step. You have to tune out all the external noise. So much of our career confusion comes from what we think we should want, based on family, friends, and society. You have to use these questions like a filter, and you've got to be brutally honest with yourself. Are you chasing a certain path because it's prestigious, because other people value it? Are you secretly afraid of disappointing your parents or mentor? Or are you just trying to keep up with what your peers are doing? You can't hear your own voice until you quiet down all those other ones. It really boils down to this simple, powerful idea. The more you can focus on your own journey, your unique mix of skills, interest, and energy, the less power comparison has over you. Your path starts to become clear because, for the first time, it's actually yours. Okay, once you've turned down that noise, it's time to act. But we're not talking about making some huge, life-altering decision. We're talking about running small, low-stakes experiments. You've got to think like a scientist. A weekend freelance project, an online course, or even just a 30-minute coffee chat with someone in a field you're curious about. These aren't commitments, they're data points. Each one teaches you something real about what truly energizes you. Look, at the end of the day, you just can't think your way out of being uncertain. Action is the only real antidote to that paralysis that comes from overthinking. Why? Because it gives you real-world information that just sitting and reflecting never will. Okay, what if you're stuck between 2 paths? One feels safe, the other feels risky. Try this little mind game. Imagine it's 5 years from now and you're looking back at this moment.
Which regret would sting more? The pain of having tried something and maybe failed? Or the ache of never having tried at all, of always wondering what if? Your gut reaction to that question? That's your answer.
But what if you're listening to all this and thinking even a small experiment feels like way too much? What if you're so overwhelmed you don't even know where to begin? Don't worry, there's a powerful strategy for that exact situation. Here's a strategy that seems a little backward, but it's incredibly powerful. Instead of searching for the right thing, start by getting rid of what's definitely wrong. Make a do not want list. What kind of environments completely drain your energy? What types of tasks make you miserable? Who are the people that just stress you out? Sometimes the clearest way to find the right path is by closing all the wrong doors first. Okay, to wrap this all up, everything we've talked about, it's all held up by one final crucial mindset shift. We have to dismantle the one myth that fuels most of our career anxiety. Let's talk about the perfect career myth. Honestly, this is the source of so much stress for so many of us. It's this false belief that somewhere out there, one single, flawless job exists that's going to meet every single one of our needs forever. This idea is a total trap. It sets an impossible standard and makes every genuinely good option feel like a failure in comparison. So let's just throw that myth out the window and replace it with something real, something achievable. A good job isn't perfect. It's a practical alignment of three key things. It's a job that fits your strengths, it pays the bills, and it gives you room to learn and grow. The sweet spot is a role that just hits a good balance of all three. And really, if you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. The goal is alignment, not perfection. Stop searching for that one perfect destination. A career isn't something you find. It's a structure you build, and you adjust it over time, getting it more and more aligned with who you really are. So, as we wrap up, I want you to stop asking, what's my perfect career? That's the wrong question. The real question is this. What's one small, tiny experiment you can try this week to reduce your confusion by just 1%? That's it. That's where clarity begins.